record, and I am going to post this for you in the event that you want to review it at any time. Okay. Now, the next thing that I am going to do, I'm going to turn on my closed captions. So for some of you who want to follow along in that manner, or when you review the lecture, you want to see what I had to say, hopefully it translates properly, I'm going to turn that on. Okay. And the other thing I'm going to do is present. Okay. I'm going to present using my entire screen. All right. And share. Okay. So what you should see now is you are presenting your screen. It's telling me that. And what I'd like to know is, are you seeing a screen right now that's showing a whole bunch of people and little buttons and me up in the right-hand corner, almost right next to Darcy there? Is that what you're seeing? If a couple of people could respond, yes, no, then I know that I know what you're seeing. So are you seeing a screen with a bunch of little circles with letters in them representing people, and me up in the corner? Yes or no? Can I have a couple of responses, please? Okay, Guillermo, are you seeing the screen? Laura, are you seeing the screen? Megan? Can you respond, please? Okay, good. Thank you. I needed to scroll down. Thank you. I need to scroll down on my chat. Oh, man, it's been a long summer. Okay. So what I'm going to first take you to, okay, is a PowerPoint slide for Intro to Marketing. I'm going to periodically go back and see if there's questions on my chat. But for now, I'm going to leave it up as Intro to Marketing. Okay, now if I'll hit escape and go back and I'll see maybe my chat, and actually maybe I'll change my presentation to making it a window. Hang on, I'm going to stop presenting for a moment. Going to present now and going to put it in a window. Okay, so that you're going to see me in the corner. Okay, there we go. And this should work. All right. Okay, so what I'm going to do this morning is I'm going to introduce you to this course. I'm going to tell you where all the information is. I'm going to talk to you about the textbook. And yes, there's a textbook for this particular course. I'm sad to say it is one place where you got to spend some money to get an ebook or a hardcover book. I'm going to walk you through where all the information is on Blackboard, which some of you may have seen already, and I'm going to give you an idea what you need to do next, okay? So our objective today, as I mentioned, is make sure you're in the right spot, okay? Now, what I'm going to suggest to you is if you are not in the right classroom, that you sign off, okay? If you need help in finding out where you should be, you can email me, okay? And that email, if I pop back here for just a second and go over to the chat, is kastone@mtroyal.ca. That is my email address. So if you need any of my help in finding the right classroom, I'll do my very best, but that is a contact that you can use, okay? We're going to review the course outline in detail, okay? We're going to look at what resources you have available to you and what's going to be expected of you in the course. I'm going to address any key questions, and I'm going to help you understand what you need to do to get that darn textbook, okay? In terms of prepping for next class, I'm also going to tell you what you need to do over the weekend. You know, the biggest thing you can do right now is get that darn book, get it in your hands. And you have a choice of getting, and I'm going to talk about in a minute, the hardcover book or the ebook. If you are getting used to the idea of an ebook, that's what I would suggest, because you can get it instantaneously and you can start reading. Okay. So, in terms of who I am, Catherine Stone is the name that you see in Blackboard next to my name. I go by Anne, and you are more than welcome to call me Anne. But if you see Catherine Stone, it's me. Okay, there's only one Catherine Ann Stone in university, and one Catherine Stone, so I am that prof. All right. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about my background in just a second, just so you can get an idea of why the heck they hired me to teach you marketing. But here's my contact information, and once again, you'll have this this slide deck, and you'll also have the recording. This is my cell phone. Okay. I am not call forwarding my calls from the office. I'm using my cell phone because I'm really not very attached to a landline anymore. And this is where you can call me in the event of an emergency, or text me if there's an issue as well. Okay, so, normally if we were in class, I'd say this is the number you use if you're stuck behind traffic on Crowchild and you're going to be late for the midterm. This is where you and I will chat if we need to chat, or FaceTime. But the best thing to do is, if it's not a dead emergency, okay, is to email me. astone@mtroyal.ca. It's super easy. And although the course policies say that we will get back to you within, 2 business days, rest assured that I will get back to you probably within 8 hours. Okay, I really try to keep on top of my emails because I know that anything you ask is important and that you normally need a fairly quick answer for it. If I was on campus right now, my office would be EB 3033, which is the Sept School of Business, 3rd floor, west-hand side. But I haven't been there since March 15th. But if we ever go back in, or when we go back in, that's where you'll find me. In terms of office hours, I'm going to, for the most part, have our office hours during this class time, okay? 11:30 to 1 on Tuesdays and Thursdays. The reason being is that this course is being held asynchronous, okay? It's being held asynchronous, which means you are going to work on your own to complete the material. Okay, now that scares me a little bit, because I know that some of you are first-year students just coming in. You may be in open studies, or you're just starting your business degree. So asynchronous, which means working on your own, kind of scares me, because you may not be super organized at this point. What I would suggest for all of you is, unless you have a part-time job, you're sharing your computer with someone else and can't work during the class time right now, 11:30 to 1 or 10 to 1, every Tuesday and Thursday, that you slot this time as your marketing time. Okay, you go through the lectures, you read your book, you do your quizzes, and so on and so forth. If I can give you one big word of advice today, especially if you're new to university life, is get yourself organized into time slots to work on this material. Now, that being said, if you have a part-time job, you're working from home, doing some work online or whatever, you can do your work anytime during the day, but I would suggest you get organized and pick a time. As I explain this course to you, you're going to realize that you can't just do it before the midterm or at the end of the week. You must slot time during the week. Okay? Are there any questions on that? I'm going to whip back over to my chat, see if you've got any questions on that right now. Any questions related to that? Dina asked, where can we find the slideshows on Blackboard? I'm going to put them on Blackboard for you today. I have not got this one right here. I'm going to show you, though, where all of the slideshows are on Blackboard in just a sec. Do we have to go to school for our finals? Nope. Everything is online. Everything is aligned. You will not step on to the campus at all unless something changes in the next couple of months. It says on the course outline, it gives a different professor's name. Let me double check that, Lima. It should not. Let me double check that as we go over there, but it should not be showing anybody else. You might maybe in one case it's showing Anne-Marie Dorland. Let me see if that shows up, okay? Maybe when we go through the outline, if I missed a place, we can do that. And I'll change it, okay? Make sure you're in the right section, okay? Section 6, 11:30 to 1, Tuesday and Thursday. Okay, all right. Let me go back over then to the slides, and I'm going to go to the next one. Now, what I want to do is just tell you a little bit about myself. And the reason this is because it's important for you to know who's leading the class so you can have an understanding of my background. And so I'm going to give you just a quick snippet of my background, and please don't start adding up numbers because you're going to realize that I'm really old, right? In my late 50s and looking to retirement in a couple of years. So my background is I grew up in Prince Edward Island on the east coast of Canada, Canada's smallest province of 128,000 people. Fabulous place to go in the summertime. It's a beautiful place and a place you should put on your bucket list if you want to see parts of Canada. It's a pretty special part of the world. I grew up there in an entrepreneurial family. My dad was a dairy processor. He made ice cream and cheese and milk and all sorts of wonderful dairy products. I grew up in an entrepreneurial family, and so I was very much surrounded by business all the time when I was a kid. But as you'll see by the photo over here, I was a crazy horse person when I grew up. As a teenager, I got into horses. And I rode and competed in horses all through high school, junior high school, and high school. When I was done high school, I wanted to be a veterinarian, and I applied to vet school, and I studied hard to get in, but I never did get into vet school because there were 6 seats available in the veterinary school I was applying to for 100 students, and I wasn't the smartest kid in the class, so I didn't get in. So I ended up switching my degree and doing a BSc in agriculture from the University of Guelph in Guelph, Ontario. So my undergraduate degree, believe it or not, is in agriculture. However, if you dissected my degree, you would find out that, in fact, my degree was in the business of agriculture. It was in the production of animals for food, basically. So my undergraduate degree is BSc in agriculture with a major in animal science from the University of Guelph in Guelph, Ontario. After that, I went on and I did an MBA, Master's in Business Administration from St. Mary's University in Halifax, Nova Scotia, not St. Mary's here in Calgary, because I came from a business entrepreneurial family that believed very strongly in business. So I did an MBA, and my major was in marketing. Best thing I ever did, next to quitting smoking. It was the best thing I ever did. Really enjoyed my MBA. It was hard. It was 4 years of business school in 2 years, but it really launched my career, I guess you would say. After that, and the logo is not here, but I worked for the Dairy Bureau of Canada in Toronto for a year when I first got out of university. The Dairy Bureau of Canada is now identified as the Dairy Farmers of Canada. We used to do the milk calendar. Maybe when you were a little kid, you remember it, or maybe not. But basically promoting the dairy industry in Canada. So I worked in marketing for them for a year. At that point, though, I got recruited by Kodak Canada. And Kodak is a company that no longer exists. But at the time that I joined Kodak, it was one of the top 3 brands in the world. And I worked in market research for them. I worked in marketing for them, in retail marketing, all kinds of special events and so on. I worked for 17 years with Kodak. I learned more about marketing from Kodak than any textbook will ever teach you. So I really credit Kodak for my marketing aptitude, I suppose, my skills. After that, I moved after Kodak, and I am short forming this. I left and worked for a cosmetic company for a couple of years. I don't have their logo up here, but I worked as director of marketing for a company called Soapberry Shop. It was a Canadian version of the Body Shop, and I worked for them as director of marketing for 2 years, and then I went back to Kodak. When I went back to Kodak, I worked from home. And working from home in the 1990s was something that was new. We're all at home now, but we didn't have webinars and Google Meets and Zoom and all that stuff then. So working from home was hard and actually very isolated. I started a network at that point called Women in a Home Office, and that is this logo down here. It was a networking organization, kind of like a chamber of commerce for women with home-based businesses. And I ran that organization for 8 years and franchised it into 4 provinces. I had 16 chapters across Canada, and it was pretty cool. It was a really cool opportunity. It was through Women in a Home Office that I actually fell kind of into teaching. I actually had lunch with a gal one day who worked for Mount Royal College at that point, and I indicated to her that quite accidentally that I thought that I would like to teach one day with my career background. And that's how I got my job at Mount Royal University. I also taught at Bow Valley College for about 4 years, but then I put all my eggs into one basket, and I kind of leapt over and stayed at Mount Royal University because I really love it there, and love the people, love Bow Valley, but I was doing a lot of commuting back and forth, and I felt that I could spend more time at the university and work solidly with Mount Royal. In terms of the courses that I teach at Mount Royal, I've taught a whole whack in the 12 years I've been there. I teach business planning, I teach management 2130, I've taught nonprofit studies, I teach 2301, innovation and the entrepreneurial experience. I've taught evidence-based marketing. I've taught about 15 different courses at the university. So safe to say, I do a lot of teaching. When I'm not teaching at Mount Royal, I am still heavily involved in horses. I teach show jumping actually at a stable south of Calgary. I teach 2 days a week, and I'm at the barn probably twice a day to tend to my horse and tend to other horses and so on. So teaching is a big part of my world. In terms of hobbies, I love dogs, cats, any animals at all. We do a lot of fostering now of cats and dogs for the Calgary Humane Society, and have failed at being a foster a couple of times because now we have these dogs in our possession. So it's very fulfilling type of work to do, and I really like it. So that is a bit about me. That helps you understand kind of what my marketing background is. So my hope is through teaching you this course and guiding you that I'm going to be able to share some stories with you from my background. And that's one of the things that's nice about, I think, professors, is that they're able to tell you about some of their experiences as opposed to just dictating what comes out of a marketing book. Okay, so that's a bit about me in a nutshell. And there's going to be a little exercise here today that we're going to get to know you a little bit as well. Now, more importantly, okay, I know you're like, oh yeah, okay, now we know who Anne is, that's super. The course logistics, where the heck is the material? Your material is going to be on Blackboard, okay? And so I'm going to take you over there and we're going to look at that material in a moment, right? And I just want to scan down my slides, make sure I'm in sync here. On Blackboard, we're going to have all the material, all the assessments, including your final exam and your midterm exam. all your readings, all your schedules, everything, everything, everything. Okay? And so we're going to go over there. Now, let me just look at the last couple of slides. Let me take you over to Blackboard. Okay? And for any of you, I am going to log out and go in. Okay? So just in case, and I'm assuming everybody can see this, I'm going to go in and put my Mount Royal at the top, and I'm going to log in. Just in case there's any of you in any way are saying, I have no idea what the hell you're doing, right? Heck you're doing. So I just went to mtroyal.ca and I went to log in, okay, up in the upper hand corner. I put in the first part of my email address and my password, okay, and you should have a password at this point in time, okay, and I log in. When I log in, my screen looks a little different than yours because I'm faculty. So what happens is I have a different bar across the top than you, but they're all pretty similar, right? I'm going to go up to BB in the corner, which is Blackboard, and I'm going to log in to Blackboard. Okay? And down the right-hand side is listed all of my classes. And here's my class that you are taking part in today right here. I'm going to click on that, and this is the screen that will come up. Okay? Now, you may all have been here because you got this message last week, you got an email from me or whatever, but I wanted to make sure. Are there questions? Okay, Lima, you're good? Awesome. Any questions regarding getting to here? Any questions? Okay, super. So I'm assuming, okay, unless you tell me different, that you're all there. You're all there at Blackboard. Okay. So if you look at this screen, you're going to see a whole bunch of things down the side, all right? In terms of what I can tell you today, if you're going to spend some time on marketing tomorrow or over the long weekend, get to know this, okay? How many of you, for how many of you is this your first time or first experience with Blackboard? Not just today, but with Mount Royal University. Can you just give me a read on that? Oh, wow, lots, eh? Okay. Woohoo. I'm assuming then you've been on D2L. Have you been on probably D2L in high school? Okay. Okay. Good. Thank you, Caitlin. Fabulous. I know you're probably all wanting to chat and just say yes, but recognize, of course, there'll be times when we can chat, but today it's just put it over in the mute area of chat. Okay, let me walk you through here then. Oop, we're back here. Whoops, there we go. Let me close those two. Hang on. Okay. So over on the left-hand side here, there's the announcements. Okay, now the announcements are things that I'm going to put in here. But you know what? For the most part, I'm probably going to email you. Okay, because this announcement is something that you need to go in and get. But I'm going to email you, and I did email you, the code to get in here. The code, I don't think is going to change. And I'm saying that so tentatively, but I believe I can hold on to this code for every single one of our meetings. Okay, so I'm going to just make a note of that today. Unless you get an email from me saying next Tuesday our code is different, go back to this announcement for 11:30. Okay? Up here, as you scroll, you'll see this little bar. You can go up, and I'm spending a lot of time, so those of you who know Blackboard, please bear with me. There's some things here, information, content, contacts, and tools that you will not be seeing. And in fact, you won't see. Okay, this is all out of here. Right here, there's a little ditty that says about your instructor, and I've just got a very basic instruction here, okay, of who I am, because I've told you in the slides, right? There's an area, a click button here for technical help. This is your place to go for help with Blackboard, okay, with Maya, anything here related to MyMRU. Great stuff. And I really challenge you to use these technical tutorials. You're going to see here, okay, all kinds of resources for you. So before you ask your prof in any of your courses, how do I do this? You're better to go to your technical help, okay? Because that's taking you over to the people who are the masters of this. We're not necessarily the experts in technical help here because we know our areas of expertise very well: marketing, entrepreneurship, accounting, finance. We may not be the techie whizzes that you wished we were. Now, key course information right here. If you click on key course information, you're going to see some really cool stuff. So this is going to be, if I could have bolded key course information, I would have done that. Okay, there you go. And there's a course schedule, okay, something you can print. And there are your lectures. Okay, there's other course resources here like links, and you know what? Don't get all caught up in that area right today. What you need to know is go rate these 3 things right here. All right. There's a couple of other things here. I think they're blocked from you. Final assignment class gallery. A couple of areas down here, online discussion preparation guide, online discussion board. We're going to talk about that today too. Okay, and actually let me make this available. There you go. I'm going to show the link on that one. I've blocked a couple of things. I'm going to block the simulation as well. Okay, and that should mean that you don't see it. What I like to do is not make your life crazy. Okay, I'm a big believer in keep it simple. So that's what I'm going to attempt to do. Okay, now when I clicked on key course information, I found 3 things to click on. You're going to see little arrows over here. See when I go in the box, I see an arrow. I see an arrow. Okay, I'm going to click that one, and there's your course syllabus. Okay, or course outline, I should say. So again, when I go here, look what happens. You see a little arrow over here looking at itself. When I click it, it has a file with all the course policies. When the market research participation, I've got a little thing there. You see that? Okay. And how to access your textbook, that's open. There's a video on how to get your textbook. Okay. Let me take you through this, and then we'll see where we're at. We may actually watch the video here. If not, I'm going to have you watch it, okay, on your own. So let's look at the course outline, okay? Sorry if I'm scrambling around here. Okay, so let's have a look at this. I'm not going to read it. I want you to read it, but I'm going to highlight key things. Let me explain. The lectures are already loaded. They're already there. If you start scouting around under lectures, you're going to see the lectures. The lectures become available before 9 a.m. each day that the lecture is scheduled. So if chapter 1 is scheduled for September 8th, it will, or September 10th or September 2nd, whatever it is, it'll show up on that day at 9 o'clock. Our class is not until 11:30, but you can start if you want at 9 o'clock. Maybe you don't have class and you're an early riser. They will show up on the day that we're covering it in the schedule, but not before. Once it appears, okay, so let's say chapter 1 appears, then it will be there for the entire semester. Okay? What I'm going to do is check in with you at the beginning of the week and say, this week you're covering chapter blank. You should listen to the lecture material for this, and this, and do the activity. You should also write the online quiz. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. I'm going to check in with you in the beginning and the end of the week, right? But I'm also going to be available during class time to answer questions via Google Meet. So next Tuesday at 11:30, okay, it's a time for you to say, hey, Anne, I'm here, I have a question. So you'll go back over and you'll say, hey, Anne, I have a question. And what I'll do is if you're, not everybody is, you don't have to log in here at all. But let's say that Ethan logs in and says, Anne, I have a question. Then I will open his mic and we can chat. Okay, so that is like office hours, okay, as you're going through it. I'll be here on Thursday, whoops, as well. Okay. We've covered the contact information. Like I say, don't call me. Generally, don't call unless it's an emergency, but you do have my number in the event that we set up a call, okay? I don't answer calls from any number that I don't know, and you're better off to text me anyway. Okay, so because this class is being held asynchronous, office hours are during your regular class time. All virtual classes that are pre-recorded are available on Blackboard under Lectures Recorded. Okay, you see that on the dates indicated on the schedule below. All right, so I just covered that. Now, this is important and this is why it's in red. The textbook, and I'm going to read this because you need to know, the textbook must be purchased from the MRU bookstore. Not only to get the best pricing, okay, but to make sure you get the proper codes. There's 2 codes that you're going to get when you order your textbook. There's a code for the chapter quizzes. And there's a code for a simulation. We're going to do this online simulation thing in November. You need a code to register for. Okay? The e-textbook, okay, you'll get 2 texts, and if you order the book itself, you'll get 2 texts. 2 codes. All right? Now it says here, please purchase your textbook or e-textbook quickly as quizzes begin next week, basically. Okay, so guys, everybody follow that link, not the second, and order your book. Okay, now there is a little, remember I said, as we backed up there, there's a place that gives you a little video, okay, that talks to you about your book, and maybe we'll get a chance to look at it today if we don't run out of time. The book you're ordering is this book, The Core, 5 5th edition, Canadian edition, by the following people, 2018. If I recall, it has the picture of a runner on the front and a white background, but it's all set up for you. Okay, as soon as you go to the bookstore, it's going to tell you. All right. Are there any questions on that in particular right now? Clear as mud. I'm currently out of the country, not back anytime soon. How do you get your textbook? Kaz, and I hope I'm pronouncing that properly. I would suggest you download the ebook. Okay, you should download the ebook. The online copies are not any different at all. No. I think you're going to find too in the future. I know people are still kind of, I like the book. I think we're getting about 50% doing ebooks now. You can always get yourself a copy of that book used on Amazon if you want both. So you could order the ebook, and then you could, if you wanted to, go to Kijiji, go to Amazon and pick up a used book, but you're not going to get the codes. That's the kicker on this course. I hate saying it. I do. I hate it because I have students here. My children are both university students, or one is out now, and I know what it's like to buy textbooks, but you can't get the codes if you don't order online, if you don't order through the bookstore. Okay. Is the orange card for the quizzes? You know what, Caitlin? I'm not sure. It should say on it, there's a blue card and an orange card. I think the blue is the simulation and the orange is the other. Just read it carefully. Will we get the textbook delivered on time? I'm hoping to. And will you get the codes if you download online? Yes. So all these questions are questions that you're going to see in that video. Okay? There's always lots of questions. Yes. Dina, there are quizzes every week. Yes. But don't freak on this. Don't freak. I know some of you are freaking. Where do we drop the course, right? The quizzes are easy peasy. And I'll tell you why. The quizzes follow along with the book. And it asks you questions. And it, believe it or not, and just take it for what it's worth because you're going to go, I don't get it. It keeps asking you questions till you get 100%. So if you do the quizzes, you will get 100% if you complete the quizzes. Okay? But again, I'm going to leave that for a second, and I'm going to let you watch the video. Now, if I go backwards here up in my cursor, back twice, back twice, back, whoops, I'm going to keep going back. Hang on, and I go under key course information again. Sorry, I got myself here. Hang on. Let me close that for a sec. There we go. I just closed that. There's how to access your textbook resources. Okay, and if I click on this, I don't know if this is going to click on for you or not. There is the video. First day of class registration. Can you tell me if I play this? Can you tell me if you can hear it?
250 students. My name is Kaylee Hood, and I'm here today to tell you a bit more about the course resources that you'll be needing.
Can you tell me if you're hearing that? Oh, super. Oh, great. There you go. Okay, it's all there. Oh, there's the guy, basketball player, white background, okay? So, good old Kaylee, if you look at that video, it's going to tell you everything you need to know about the textbook. Okay, let's go back to the course outline. Believe it or not, this is one of the hardest parts of the course. Okay, so the course description is in here. I am not going to read this for you because you can read. You're in university. I'm going to have you look at it. It's a Gen Ed Cluster 3 Level 2 course. We're introducing you to marketing, basically. And what we find is that when people take this course, if they're not in marketing, they either decide they really want to do marketing or they really don't want to do marketing. Okay, so I'm going to let you read this, all right? But I want you to read it, and I'll tell you why. The outlines are a contract between you and the university. So you need to read this to make sure you understand it. Okay? Shows you a bunch of resources, shows you about technical help, and so on and so forth. Gives you the outcomes, all right, how we're going to do it. And of course, this is what you all want to know. Hey, I've been a student too. Okay, so what we have there in terms of what's happening is we have 5 different elements that you do individually. You do your quizzes, and you do a quiz for every chapter. And what I would suggest is that quiz is probably going to take you, I don't know, an hour maybe. They pop up with the chapter. You're going to see them on the left-hand side when we go there. I'm going to show you where they are. You read your chapter, you do it, but as you're doing the quiz, if you get something wrong, it tells you, would you like to go right back and read it in the book and all that kind of stuff. Very, very user-friendly, okay? Very user-friendly. We have a midterm exam worth 20%. That will be held online. Nothing takes place at Royal University at all. The final exam is online as well, and my understanding is that they are both multiple choice. There's also going to be a discussion board, and that's something I have to show you today. That's something a little bit new. It's an automatic 5% if you do it with some thought, okay? If you do it with no thought, then you're not going to do so well, but if you put some effort into it, you are going to get 5%. There's a learning activities portfolio we're going to talk to more about next week. And then there's some team assessments. You're going to be creating a persona or a profile of a customer, and you're going to do this as a group. Please don't panic on that today. We're going to get your groups together. None of that is important for you to know today. And you're also going to do this marketing simulation assignment at the end of the semester where we actually play a game online. We're in marketing. It's not as exciting as some of Fortnite and GTA, which I'm sure many of you played, but it's that type of thing, okay? And you're going to be assessed on the report that you create as a group, okay? Again, don't get overwhelmed. You don't have to know the detail today on that. Now, assessments, they talk about the online quiz, okay? It's an open book, short quiz, okay, that you complete before midnight on the day of your class. Now, that's interesting because before you needed to complete the quiz before we gave you the lecture. Now you've got the entire day. So if we cover chapter 1 on Tuesday, the quiz will be due at midnight or 7:59 on Tuesday. So you've got the rest of the day to do the quiz. Okay? There's 13 chapter quizzes, and the best 10 scores are counted at the end. It's automatically done by the computer. Okay? There's a discussion board that we have. I'm going to walk you through that. Okay? I'm going to talk to you about the learning activity portfolio probably next week. You do not have to know about it yet because you're going to get overwhelmed. There's a midterm and final exam, a persona and team project. So that stuff you can all look over the weekend, okay? I don't have to go through it now. It's already 12:17. The grading structure is as follows, okay? And that is across the board it's across the board in the university. These are the holidays that we have, okay? So we have Labor Day, we have Thanksgiving Day. Those are both Mondays. They don't affect you, but we do have a reading break October 13th to 16th, okay? So that week of Thanksgiving, the following week is a week off of school. We also have Remembrance Day on November 11th, which I believe is a Wednesday this year, so it doesn't affect you. These other critical dates, and you should really mark this down, is the ad drop deadline is September 14th, okay? So that's going to come up pretty quickly. The last day to withdraw with a W is November 20th, okay? And note that the final exam will be posted on October 21st. Now, we used to tell people don't book any airline tickets before the 21st because you can't miss your final exam. Well, the world's changed, isn't it? We're not flying anywhere. And you know what? If you are somewhere else, you can probably write the final exam. If you're at your cabin in the mountains, as long as you have internet, you'll be able to write it wherever the heck you are. Okay? All right, textbook resources. This is where your video is. All right. And the market research participation, I want you to read it, but once again, I'm not going to get too detailed on this. Basically, this is an opportunity to get some bonus marks. And what's going to happen is our market research department at the university conducts market research. And it could be on anything. It could be on student loans. It could be on mental health during COVID. It could be on outdoor activities in Alberta during, the epidemic, what you did, blah, blah, blah. It's all anonymous, but the idea is to give you exposure to market research. It's an opportunity to get bonus marks, and it's totally voluntary. I will be telling you when those surveys are available. They are not marked. This is simply bonus marks. I tell you, you can get a lot of bonus marks in this course. 1, doing the discussion board. Number 2, doing your online quizzes. And number 3, doing the market research. Okay? So there's lots of opportunities to do very well in this course. Here's the course outline policies for the university, okay, student resources. I strongly encourage you to read this document in detail. Doesn't want to, I haven't got Microsoft Word on here, but you want to, this is not just for Marketing 2150. This is for all of your courses at the Sept School of Business, okay? You want to read this document in detail. One thing I want to mention about email etiquette, if you send me an email with a question, be sure to put the course and the section number in your subject line. So let's say Ethan sends me an email, says, hey, do we have to do that quiz for tomorrow? I'm not going to know what course it is or what section you're in. So I'm automatically going to hit reply and go, what are you taking and what section are you in? I teach 4 different courses and 6 different sections. So be very specific. Make a habit of in your subject line saying, this is from Ann Stone, Marketing 2150, Section 6. Okay? But please read through this document and make sure you understand this about academic misconduct, correctness, and so on and so forth. Okay? All right. Let me get out of there. Click. Any questions? How many questions are on the case, Nicholas asked? It keeps asking questions until you get 100%. But I think it's like 30 or 40, but I believe it is. And I think you should allocate about an hour to the quiz. Okay? And you know what? If you somehow flub up chapter 1, you've got 13 tries and they're only going to take 10. Okay, we've never found that students have very much problem with the quizzes. So give it a go. Do we do the quiz in class time? Caitlin, nope, you can do it whenever you want during that day up till midnight. You can do them anytime. And in fact, I suggest that during your class time, that's when you read the lecture or then you watch the lecture, okay, and take it in as if I was lecturing to you, okay? There's many sections of this marketing course, and it's been set up so that the marketing lectures are all available. To be honest with you, I'm not excited about asynchronous, but this has been set up for the entire course, all 18 sections. So all the lectures are standard. They've been created by Anne-Marie Dorland. So you're going to go, hey, that's not Anne. No, it was created by somebody else, but they want to make sure it's a super uniform way of delivering. Okay. Now, the course schedule is here. Okay. So let's click on that. And this is going to tell you everything you need to know. Okay. So it shows pre-course activities. Notice it says September 3rd and 8th. All right. I'm going to be going over this again on Monday. All right. Today is an awkward day. Some people are actually not really even having a class today, but I'm going to go over this whole thing on Monday again. So you can come or go if you don't want to come to the class and you go, hey, I totally know what I'm doing. Okay. Or you can look at the recording. I will post the recording of this and the link to that recording, and it will be available under your lectures. Okay. So it takes us all the way through each day. Okay, notice virtual class. Notice this is what you do on this day. So next Thursday, you read your textbook, chapter 1, you do the quiz, okay, by the end of the day, right? And review, download, try to learn activities. So this is under your course content. That's how it works. Okay. Now, you'll notice somewhere along the line, September 15th, I believe that is a Tuesday, there's a Google Meets virtual class. Okay. That means we do have a class on that day. Okay. That means we do have a class on that day. So maybe what I should do for you guys too is I'm going to make an amendment to that and show you that we have a class on that day. But I won't lecture. I will be getting your group assignment assigned to you, putting you into groups and so on and so forth. If you have people in the class that you already know that you would like to work with, by all means, let me know. Okay, we'll do it on that day. Don't worry about it quite yet, but I'll give you the opportunity to do that. Otherwise, we'll put you in groups. So there's a couple of, if you see Google Meets virtual class, what that means is, yes, we will have a class on that day at year 11:30. But notice there's not too many. There's not too many. There are more check-ins, Okay. I'll do the final exam review. Ooh, October 20th. That's supposed to be midterm review, by the way. That should be midterm review, midterm exam. And the midterm exam is on a Saturday. It's on a Saturday because they want to give everybody the exam at the exact same time. Okay, so please make note of that date, October 24th. You're going to ask me what time. I'm not positive I know what that time is yet, and I will find out what it is. I'm going to guess during section, it says here section time, so it would be 11:30. But I might hold it at 9 o'clock. Let's have that discussion. Okay, we'll have a discussion on that. If you want to get it out of your way because you want to do something else that day, we can do it earlier. Okay, so you can scroll along here, right? We'll talk more about this on Monday. Again, I do not want to overwhelm you. This is a lot of information. Now, what I want to show you right now, okay, this is where your course outline is, how to get your textbook and course policies and procedures. This is your schedule. So you might want to print that off if you still like hard copy. These are the lectures, and here we go. Chapter 1, Marketing Fundamentals. Okay, now notice on me it says here it'll be available after September 10th, 8:30 a.m. Okay, now I might actually edit that right now as we speak and see if I can make it available now. Let's just see. Because if I make it available now, you can go have a look at it this weekend if you're keen and want to do it, right? So now it's available, just like that. So I can't make this other stuff available because I'll get in trouble. All right? You're going to notice that they're in here under chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But in fact, look at this. We actually cover, if you look at the calendar, we go from chapter 1 to chapter 4. So that's why they look out of sync. And in fact, they should be popped up there, should be in a different order, but I think it just looks nicer this way. So if I open, see my little hand, and I click on that, it opens up. And here's all your information. Okay? In the first set of readings, and you can do this this weekend if you feel comfortable with it, and this will give you lots of extra time on chapter 1. Okay? So you're going, well, Anne, where's the lecture? I don't see any lecture. If you click on these things, you see it. There's your micro lecture. Now we call it a micro lecture because there's actually a lecture on different topics. Okay, can you all see that introduction to marketing? You're seeing that lady, Anne-Marie Dorland, up in the corner. She's the lady that created these. Can you see that? Let me pop over here and tell me if you can see it. Caitlin? Okay, good. Okay, I got a couple of questions. Dina, what if you're working on the date exam? You know what? I'm going to have to find out. We may have some latitude during that day to let you write, but probably I'll have to find out. Can you, Dina, email that to me, please? astone@mtroyal, so I can get an answer for you. Normally, I would say, oh, well, you'll take a deferred exam if it's a legit reason. But I don't know if we can do it deferred now. I don't know how we're going to do deferred, if there is a deferred exam available. But not to worry, Adina, please send it to me, and yeah, I'll get an answer for you for next week. Again, no panic yet, okay? If there's a chance you can get that time off, that Saturday off, that would be fabulous. They're going to make everybody's life a lot easier. But according to the syllabus right now, it's saying we're going to write it from 11:30 to 1. Okay. Okay, hang on for a second then. Coffee still in here, never good. There we go. Okay, let me go back over to Blackboard. So there's the lecture, all right? And if we just scroll a bit, I can click that on, and you're going to listen to Anne-Marie talk to you about target markets. There you go. Okay, so that's your first lecture, and you're going to notice it's 4 minutes and 38 seconds. Okay, and we're going to close that one up. Click, notice those arrows, and there's your learning activity unit 1. Okay, so what it does is it gives you a little thing to read, and it asks you a couple of questions. Okay, now these are not marked, but if you want to do well in the course, you're going to do the learning activity. Okay, so you will just simply look at these and answer the questions yourself. I am not looking at them. Okay, it's up to you. Up to you. So if you're real keen, you want to get on the dean's list or the president's list, and you want to do really well in the course, and you want to get a great mark, if you do these activities, then you will do super well. Okay. Now, the other thing that I want to show you, and I apologize too for just rambling on and on and on today. There's so much to cover to get you started. I want to look at a couple of other things here, and that is, hang on. So there's your lectures, okay? Don't look at other course resources right now unless you're just wanting to dig deeper. There's a lot of stuff here. Let's scan down to the chapter quizzes, okay? And in fact, I'm going to hide the assignment too. Well, no, I'll leave it open, but don't make yourself crazy, okay? There's the chapter quizzes, okay? And you click on, just like that, and it opens up. Haha, someone's already in progress, okay? So this shows me something different, okay, than you see. You're going to see something a little bit different than what I see. It starts asking you questions. What I strongly encourage you to do is simply try it. Okay, read chapter 1 and try a quiz. Okay, the one of the things is that I haven't written the quiz, right? I haven't written the quiz. There we go, because I don't have to. So I'm not as familiar with you going through here, but notice, you see what I did? It started asking questions. Here we go. All right, so cost per click, ROIs, okay, I know it, I know the answer, I have no idea. So if I said I had no idea, okay, couldn't answer it, didn't click, it would take you to read about it, okay? And then what it would say is you could go read about it. It'll take you into the book. Look at this. Isn't this wild? It actually takes you in the book. Now, you're going to say, well, why can't I just do this? You're going to find it much harder. You still need to download the ebook, and you need your 2 codes, okay? So just play with this, get comfortable. Also, too, I want you to understand that, I'm a pretty reasonable person, and if you make a mistake, it's okay. If you get in here and go, oh, I bombed the quiz, or no, you won't be able to write it again, but it's okay, all right? And especially in this world of COVID, the pandemic, oh my gosh, it's like 6 months ago that we had our first case in Alberta. Like, it's a crazy world right now. So it's going to take you a little bit of time to dig into this, but be courageous and just take a leap, and you'll be okay. Now, the one other thing we have here that I need to go over today, okay, is the online discussion board. This is something you want to complete by next midnight, I think on Tuesday, if I recall. Here's the guideline for how to use the discussion board. It's due September 8th by midnight, okay? worth 5%. And the very first one, super easy, introduce yourself to our learning community. Okay, then there's going to be another one in October 29th. So only 5, you don't have to do this every day, okay? But it shows you what your introduction might look like and how we would score it. Okay, and how we would score it. So there you go. So 1, 2, 3, 4 is how we're going to score it. It's worth 5% of your final grade. So the ranking isn't out of 5, it's out of 4. And we go through and mark it. Okay, now, here is, let's go back here, whoops, to the discussion board itself. Click. What it does here, okay, is you click on here and you add, create a thread. Okay, you create a thread. Here's Ethan's, there's Mankarim's. Okay, and I believe this was may not be mine, but if you want to create a thread here, click, because I can delete it. I put, okay, intro of Taylor Swift. What the heck? Probably not in your wheelhouse now, but wait a minute. Okay, there you go. Hello, my name is Taylor Swift, and I'm super rich, and I've done a lot of really great music, and I live in a big mansion. I'm taking marketing because I don't know how to market my records, and blah, 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 blah. Okay, and then I submit, and there it goes. There's the intro for Taylor Swift. Okay, and then what's going to happen is you're going to go in and you're going to reply to somebody else's. Okay, and that's what we're looking for, is we're looking for your intro, and then we're looking for you to reply to someone else. All right, I'm going to delete that one. Well, no, I'm going to leave it there right now. Okay, but then you're going to reply to someone else. So someone could go in and they could reply to this. And you're going to say, hey, that's really interesting. I'm not going to open, just for privacy, I'm going to open up Taylor Swift again here. Okay. Right. Taylor Swift doesn't know how to, hang on. Message actions, read. All right. On read, hang on. Oh, reply. Sorry. Yeah. Taylor Swift doesn't know how to make one sentence. There's a little bit of a run-on sentence, and I'm going to reply. There you go. Okay. Wow. This is really interesting. Okay. I grew up in Ohio as well and went to the same school. I love your records. Maybe we can do work together when it comes time to do group work. Okay. And then I submit. Okay. And so if I go back, I'm going to see that there is a reply. I will be able to see that there is a reply. Okay, that means there's a reply. All right. Not sure why it reads that, but anyway, it will. It means that I did reply. Unread replies to me. I've already read the reply, okay, because it was to myself. So that's what you're doing for the discussion board. Okay, you can read in down here. You can read the participation guide if you like as well. Don't worry about this other stuff. It's not showing for you anyway, but you really don't need to know too much more. Let me back up 1 minute, and I'm going to go to the course schedule. Okay. So before we finish today, and we are going to finish shortly, and I'll take any questions, is you're going to look at, you now have chapter 1 available to you. So you guys are lucky. You've got it available to you before next Thursday. So you can already get your darn textbook and start reading. Okay? You have the quiz available to you, right? You have the quiz and you've got the lecture. So what do you need to do before next class? Get your book, okay? Submit to the discussion board. The discussion board, remember, that's introducing yourself, okay? Remember, that's under back over here. What's that first discussion board? Okay, introduce yourself. What brings you to Marketing 2150? Okay, and there are some samples in there. There are some samples. Remember, it talked about, whoops, oh, I keep flicking around. My apologies, I'm making you nuts. Participation guide, it gives you an example. Okay? You're going to read chapter 1, do the quiz by September 10th. I thought it was 8th, but it's not. It's the 10th. You guys are laughing. Last but not least, take a deep breath. All right? Take a deep breath. This is a good course. This is a fun course. I think you're going to enjoy it. You're going to learn a lot about your world around you. You're going to think about marketing differently. I believe that a marketing course is good for anybody, no matter whether you're an accountant, a sociologist, or a nurse. I think you're going to really, really enjoy the course. And my goal is first of all, to not make it easy for you, but to help you understand it. All right. So before we leave, I'm going to go back and answer any and all of your questions for the next few minutes. And then I'm going to let you go. Okay, so let's see. Says the discussion board's due September 8th. It's now due the 10th. All posts and replies should be completed. Mark, I just changed that, right? Why are the chapters not in order? The chapters aren't in order, Sahir, because when they wrote the book and when they reviewed it, when our class organizers and coordinators reviewed it, they believed that there were certain chapters that were critical to teach first. So, they might write the book in a certain way, the authors, but when it came to Mount Royal, it was selected to be the textbook for the course. The coordinators decided that there were certain courses that needed to come in a certain sequence, and that's all. How much is the book? I believe the book is about $99, but you're going to see that in the video, okay, when you read it. And the codes come with the textbook, yes, with the hard copy. All right. And again, some of that stuff is going to appear if we go back to the video. Hang on, let's go back. Yeah, probably. I know. I get to the point here. Let's see. Key course information. All right, let's close that up. And when you turn that sideways, here we go. We'll go back to that video. It's all there. It's all there.
Justine Ifco.
Oh, sorry about that. I just got a phone call. Not important. If we look at this, okay, and maybe if hang on. If I go right across, I don't even know if it's loaded. It's going to tell you exactly. I'm going to guess one in here. There you go. Okay, it's about $99, I believe. There are your prices. Okay, everything is here. Everything is here. And what's also here is help. Okay, when you get at the end here, it's going to say if you run into any trouble, it's going to tell you who you can touch with. And they're very good. They're very good. If I back up here, I think someone had asked about the blue card and the orange card. I do believe it shows you here. Okay, there you go. Practice marketing card. The connect card is this card. The practice marketing card is the simulation card. If you do order hard copy and you get this card, for heaven's sake, take a picture of the code on it. Do not lose that card or you'll have to buy it again because you're going to need that simulation code. So that's what they look like if you purchase. Okay, otherwise you will get codes sent to you in an email format. Okay? She's just doing all kinds of crazy stuff on there. Are there any further questions? To order the book, you know what? I would check with the bookstore. Obviously, if you order from the bookstore, Derek, we're going to take that into account. If for some reason that delivery is delayed in any way, I would order right away. However, and you may be able to ask them when that can be estimated that you will get it. The other thing that you might want to do, and I know this costs money, but see if you can get your hands on an old copy from some on Amazon. And of course, if you've got Amazon Prime, it's super fast, right? If you want, but you know, you might get it super cheap, $10, $15, but it won't have the codes. But at least it gets you started if you really don't like to use the textbook. Okay. All right. Okay, I'm assuming then that I have answered all of your questions. Next day will be Tuesday at 11:30, the day after Labor Day. I will come on again, okay? I'm going to be again on that day. I will re-lecture, so you may want to come in for part of it, or you might not want to come in if you really get it, but I am going to redo this lecture again, and I will post the recording of this. But if you're feeling super comfortable, you do not have to come into class. Okay? I'm going to leave that with you. You may have questions. You can come in, answer your questions, and take off. That's okay. Or you may want to re-listen to it again, or you may want to take that time that day to start on your readings. Okay? I had a question. Can you also buy the online version of the text and order a hard copy to your door? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, you could do that. Sure. Yep. And you're going to find, I think if you go on the buy, now, if you can do it COVID appropriately, you'll be able to go on the buy and sell on Mount Royal. You just have to obviously, you know, have someone throw you the book from 6 feet away. There will be books available if you want to do it that way. You could put on the, you know, MRU buy and sell. I'm looking for a book. I don't need the codes, just because you want to have a hard copy in your hands, because that makes you feel more comfortable right now. And I bet you can get your hands on some copies pretty easily, because people are going to be sitting there with them and the codes have expired and they're sitting with it on their shelf and they're going, hey man, I'll get rid of this book in a heartbeat, but I can't sell it because it doesn't have the codes. Okay. Alrighty, I'm going to sign off because I've got a class in 10 minutes and I need to get prepared. I do hope I see you all next week on Tuesday, even if for a short period of time. Remember, our class time is the time to come with questions. So lock it in to an organized calendar that you have. And, you know, you might want to plan to be here on Tuesday just so you can get, you know, just a little bit more organized. Thank you, thank you, thank you. No problem. I hope you have a long weekend and a good long weekend, and take some time to enjoy the warm weather. I realize online learning is might be a little crazy for everybody. They wish they were on campus, but this is the way the world rocks now, and thank heavens we can online learn, right, and continue your university studies. You're just going to log off, and if anything changes to our code for Tuesday, I will let you know. All right, talk later. Bye.